Hey, everybody. Long time no see. If you're watching this the day that it came out, and this video will be on both Patreon and my second channel, and I'll explain that in a bit. But if you're watching it the day it came out, I have not uploaded a video in 70 days now. I just checked on the YouTube Studio app. And that feels weird. That definitely doesn't feel good. I did not intend to take this long to make a video. And if you're wondering when the next video on the main channel will come out, it probably still won't be out until the end of April. So just thought I would explain myself, thought I would make a video talking about what I've been doing over the last couple of months, and more importantly, talking about what I want to do going forward, since a little bit has happened, and I just thought I would cover all of that in a video. So I guess I'll just tell the entire story from the beginning. Not a ton has happened. It's nothing serious, nothing life-changing. But basically, the last update that I've given was on Patreon. I posted a text post saying that I was working on a hentai video. Now, a lot of people have requested that I make a video on hentai. It's been something that I've wanted to do for a while, but I never really had an angle to approach it from. I didn't have like a focus that I wanted to have for that video. So recently, and I say recently, this is still about 2 months ago now, I had the idea to make the hentai video, and my focus was going to be on hentai studios, specifically how they work, how they're different to anime studios. You know, they're these giant things, these big, massive companies that are, you know, producing hentai and paying entire studios to develop them, but we don't really know anything about them. And that was weird to me. Like, we don't know about animators. I don't know anyone who could like name a hentai director. So that was just something that I thought would be interesting to cover in a video. And then I looked into it, and there's basically nothing online for this. This is a heavily under-researched topic. Any of the information that I might find on directors or people that work on hentai would basically just be firsthand research. There's like no one who's really written about that I could find. And so the video developed in that way and sort of became this whole thing where I was going to be doing all of this firsthand research, but I was ready for that. I kind of knew that going in. However, something else that I didn't really consider is that people don't really talk about hentai at all. Like the history of it just in general, where it came from, how it developed, how it got to the point that it is this big studio system today. So that was something that I had read in a couple of books. There's a Wikipedia article about hentai that covers like the basic history leading into like the OVA boom, where like the first major animated hentai came out. But that was still something I hadn't seen really covered like in depth on YouTube at all. So I thought, well, okay, I should probably add some of this context to the video. And that was probably my biggest mistake, because as all of my videos do, this project blew up in scope, became this entire big thing, basically turned into the entire history of hentai from the fucking, I don't know, Showa era all the way to like modern day. And that was something that I was really not super enthused about. While I was still researching it and looking into all of these topics, it was interesting, and I think it's a good video to make. However, the project just got so large and so out of control with all of the different things that I'd have to research that I just kind of got burnt out on it. I started to lose focus and motivation because I couldn't see like a specific end goal in mind, which is something that happens quite a lot when I make videos. They get out of control and then I kind of stop working on them, or I might put them on the back burner or something. And so this happened. I decided that I was going to take a little bit of a break, just take a couple days off to sort of reset, maybe think of some lighter video to work on before the hentai video so I could kind of come back to it. And then the break just ended up lasting 70 days or 2 months-ish. I didn't start working on it immediately after the last video came out. But yeah, I just didn't end up working on it at all. And part of that was because I've recently moved. I moved cities. I live in Vancouver now, which is what this whole big office that I'm in is. So that kind of took up some of my time, but most of it was just that I was just completely unfocused. I would just spend days not working on videos, which has been a problem that I've had before. It's sort of a recurring problem, actually. If you follow me on Patreon, then you know that I constantly post things like, oh, I'm going to start uploading on like this specific schedule, or I'm going to make more videos and do all of this. I have so many plans, and then I just kind of fall through on a lot of them. So that was something that I really wanted to tackle. I'm like, if I can get to the core of this issue of not being able to like work on videos, maybe that'll help out. And so that's what I've basically done. I've been diagnosed with ADHD twice in my life before. Once as a kid, which my parents didn't really do anything about, and then once in college that I myself did not do anything about. So both times the diagnosis sort of fell through. It wasn't official because I didn't do the whole process to like do the entire test and get the certificate that they give you and all that. So I couldn't like get treatment for it. But recently I'm like, okay, if I can't focus on making videos, this is probably the ADHD that I've known that I've had for a while now. I should look into that. So I looked to a psychiatrist, got one, really difficult in Canada, and got officially diagnosed with ADHD. So now I can officially say that I have it, even though I've known I've had it for many, many years now. Got diagnosed with ADHD, and then I started treatment on it. I'm like, if I can get the ADHD handled, that should hopefully build my momentum. I should be able to start working and getting stuff done for YouTube, productive work. So 6 weeks ago, diagnosis happened. I started treatment, which the main treatment was medication, Vyvanse for me specifically. And then I've been taking increasing dosages of Vyvanse as we try and find the right one. Yet you might wonder, that was 6 weeks ago that you apparently got diagnosed with ADHD and started treatment. Did you not work on anything then? And to that I'll say, if you know how ADHD medication works, you know that basically it increases your focus, it increases your ability to focus on things. It literally just is a stimulant that gives your brain more dopamine, because ADHD is typically just a complete lack of dopamine in your brain from doing tasks. So if you can just give your brain more dopamine, you'll find more enjoyment in doing tasks, which results in focusing more. However, the problem is you still do not get any increase in your ability to choose what you focus on. Your discipline still basically isn't there. So for 6 weeks now, I have been very focused on many, many things. However, none of them have been productive. I read, for the first month, I read more manga in 1 month than I've read in my entire life up until that point. I think it was averaging like 60 chapters a day. I watched movies during about the second month, a month-ish. Watched about like 40 movies in that time. And then recently I've gotten into buying handhelds and handheld emulators and modding them and hacking them and getting games for them. In fact, I even have a PS Vita that I bought used from Japan that I modded and hacked and got all of the games for. So this leads into why I'm making this video, why I am putting it on the second channel and on Patreon. Because the main idea is that I want to, in some way, give myself some schedule that will allow me to work on YouTube more. It's a problem I've always had. I'm never consistent with uploading. I'm never consistent with working. And I want to get something more consistent. So harnessing the power of my ADHD, trying to think of what has motivated me in the past, one of the main things is deadlines. Some sort of external schedule forced on me, imposed on me, that I can force myself to stick to. That's always what I did in school, right? I would procrastinate up until a essay or assignment was due, do it the night before, and I might not get the best grade on it because I didn't, study as much as I should have, but I got it done, right? So I don't want to do that for the main channel. I don't want to like force myself to upload on any strict schedule because my videos vary so much. Sometimes that might be a short 20-minute video. Sometimes it might be like a 90-minute behemoth. I can't really like force that on any sort of schedule. I could say that like I want to upload once a month, but I don't even think that like I'd want to make videos that all specifically take a month to make. So yeah, I basically want to impose deadlines on myself via the second channel and Patreon, because something I've wanted to do for a while is to make videos for Patreon and for the second channel. Specifically, I've always wanted to make videos for the second channel because there are just so many ideas I have, or like things that I want to express or talk about that I don't have enough material for a main channel video, so I just drop it. And so I want to make videos in the second channel that are sort of like lighter videos. You know, I watched an anime or played a game, want to talk about it. I just want to tell a story, whatever it is, right? And on Patreon, I've always wanted to do regular updates. Here's what I'm working on. Here's what I've done over the last like month or so. So that way I can hold myself accountable. I can hold myself accountable both in forcing myself to upload on a strict schedule on both Patreon and the second channel. And then I can hold myself more accountable by Patreon being essentially a place where I have to tell you, this is what I've done this month. So that way I'd feel bad if I haven't done that much. So starting now, and I want to declare this right now, I am going to be uploading once a week on my second channel. I'm also going to be uploading once a month, I think right at the end / beginning of every month on Patreon. And hopefully, by setting the schedule for myself publicly in a way that I can feel held accountable for, I can force myself to work on YouTube, just in general YouTube. And by kickstarting my ability to work on YouTube on second channel Patreon, I can then use that motivation and that extra focus to make videos for the main channel. It's a weird idea. It might end horribly. It might be a terrible, terrible decision, but it's an experiment that I'm willing to do. And so that's why I'm going to do it. So this video has been rambly, probably gone on for way too long. All of my videos like this are probably going to be like that. That's just how I talk, how I tell stories. Probably also related to the ADHD thing. But that's part of the charm. That's part of why I want to do this, get better speaking on camera, all of these things. I record videos like once a month, right? Even if I'm uploading regularly, it's still only recording like one day out of the month. So I don't actually have that much experience like talking to camera. I think I've gotten a lot better over time just uploading on the main channel, but hopefully by talking unscripted on the second channel and other places, I can like build up my ability to like be on camera. And also just talk about topics that I want to talk about. It's just going to be something that I've wanted to do that I'm now forcing myself to do, essentially. But yeah, that's basically it. That's all I wanted to talk about. Just wanted to let you know what I've been doing. Mostly just trying to tackle my ADHD, trying to get my life in order. The hentai video that I'm working on, I have two things. One is that I might split it up into two videos. Because they are kind of two separate topics that might make for like independent videos. One of them being the original idea I had about like hentai studios and, you know, the specifics of like, here's all the information that we know about of like how hentai currently works and like the animators and people that work on it. And then a video before that of like a general explainer video of like, here's the history of hentai that we do know. Here's all the stuff that's on Wikipedia, of course. Looked into and read about a little bit more. I've been reading like actual books on the subject. So that way I can make like broad explainer video that lets you know like everything you need to know about hentai. And then I can be like, and now we're just going to focus on this, right? So it might come out as two videos, might also come out as one, because the other thing is that this is plan A, uploading more on other places so that I can like kickstart my motivation. But plan B is that I've literally agreed to a sponsorship for this hentai video. That the sponsor wants the video to be out by the end of April. So even if this plan doesn't work of like uploading in other places, I literally am trying to get a contractual obligation to finish the video. So that way I like have to do it. So no matter what, this video is coming out. And yeah, if you have any ideas for things that you want me to talk about, anything that you want me to make a second channel video about, even just questions that you want me to answer, let me know in the comments, no matter where you're watching this. I think the planned day of the weekly uploads is going to be Friday. I put out a poll on YouTube and people tend to generally agree about Friday, even though this video might come out on like a Sunday or a Monday, depending on how busy I am. And the Patreon video will be out next month, so like end of April. So if you're watching this on Patreon, I'll see you next month. If you're watching this on YouTube, I will see you next Friday. Haven't really thought of a way to end this yet. I should probably do that before I start uploading regularly.